here in a couple of minutes. I just want to wait and make sure everybody is here for one. Can you hear me okay? The lights are low, we're moving fast, we're taking it slow, no rules tonight, just having fun, we're dancing till we see the sun, no stopping now, we're in the zone, we own the night, we're not alone, the energy is rising, feel it grow, this party's wild, let's steal the show, listen this party start, feel the beat, hands up high, we're on our feet, the night is young, we're gonna go all out, let's get this party started, scream and shout, scream and shout, the drinks are cold, the vibe is hot, we're living large, we're taking a shot, with every song, we're losing control, tonight we're young, heart and soul, lights flash, the crowd is tight, we're dancing under neon light, no one's leaving, we're going strong, this party's where we all belong. Let's get this party started. Feel the beat. Hands up high. We're on our feet. Okay, let's get this party started. I wanted to make sure everybody could come in and see me. I just want to make sure tech was working because I'm using Riverside. It's the first time I've ever used this platform other than the other day. So this is all new. So I can't see the chat unless you join me live on Riverstream, but I've got you here on Facebook. So jump in the comments. I'll catch them after the live, and the same on YouTube. It's streaming on YouTube as well. So jump in the comments there and I'll be sure to check them out when we're done this live. But today I am tapping into 3 of the 10 keys for Unstoppable You. And the Unstoppable You 10 keys is free gift to you when you jump in the wait list for the group coaching membership. So that is a document for my OTMs as a thank you for jumping in on that wait list to become an original tribe member for the group coaching. And this will give you a taste of what's going to be inside of the group coaching because it's going to cover a lot of stuff. You know, when I first opened this up, I was like trying to wrap my head around what that's going to look like. And everything starts with awareness. Like awareness is key in everything, but awareness by itself is not enough. We need hyper awareness. So I'm just going to touch on 3 of the keys today. If you look at some of my past videos and or lives, I've touched on bits and pieces of them. You know, things like tidying up your mind and being the gatekeeper of your mind and eliminating negativity. That's just one example. You know, I did a live the other day asking about your energy and where is your energy when you first wake up in the morning? Because that energy when you first wake up in the morning, that's what's driving your day. That's what's driving you throughout your day, and it's creating your external world, so to speak, in multiple different ways. So where is your energy when you wake up in the morning? Where's your energy most of the time? Because a lot of people might be sitting back thinking, I don't want to jump into any kind of coaching. I don't need it. But if you're living in negativity all the time and you don't know how to get rid of it or minimize it or set proper boundaries, coaching is good for you. If you're in low energy a lot of the day, if not all day long, coaching is good for you. If you feel like life is always stressed and you're feeling tapped, capped, and strapped on a constant basis or even situational basis, coaching can be for you. Because even if it's situational and it's contract based, say, for example, at work, how are you managing that? How is it impacting your mind, your mental and emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual well-being? Because coaching isn't about just teaching, it's about guiding. It's about helping you learn different perspectives so that you can see things differently and thus have it give a different meaning and a different impact. That's what it's all about.
Our reality is based on our perceptions. So it's having alternative perceptions and challenging our belief systems, because even our belief systems are not always true. It's what we dive into. So today I want to dive into 3 keys only. So let's just dive right in. So like I say, if you have questions, like put them in the chat. I can't see them right now, but I will get to them when this live is over. But move your body. This is one that I struggled with. This is a main key that I was missing throughout the bulk of my life. Literally, I worked in jobs 30 plus years, high computer focus all day long, 8 to 12 hours a day, sometimes more when we hit busy seasons. So getting up and moving the body was not a priority. It was never preached back in the day when I was in my early 20s. Gyms were not a big thing back then. So it's just now in today's society, and probably over the last 10 to 15 years, 20 years, that the gyms have taken a huge jump. Exercise and physical health has taken a huge awareness. And that brings me back to awareness. You know, being aware isn't enough. You have to become hyper aware in order to know that you have to do something about it. So I can be aware, yeah, I'm overweight, but unless I hit a massive pain point, like a major health issue that's going to make me lose it, or if I get an extreme amount of payoff or joy out of losing it, that will give me motivation to lose it so that I don't have to hit the pain. So, as human beings, we make harsh decisions typically to run away from extreme pain or to run toward extreme joy. So, moving your body is key because there's physiology. Things change when you start moving your body. Your attitude, your emotions, everything can shift almost instantly by moving your body. So, when you play like an upbeat song, like I started with here, and you start moving your body and you start, doesn't matter if you're good at it or not, just move. As long as you feel good and you move your body, it shifts how you start to show up. When you put a smile on your face and you're moving your body, it shifts. Try being angry and laughing at the same time. It's tough unless you're like me and you've mastered a laugh for almost every emotion that's possible in the human body. But to actually have a joyous gut laugh, you can't do it while you're angry. It's polarity. It doesn't happen. So moving your body, when you laugh, you're releasing chemicals. When you move your body, you're releasing the stress hormone. You're lowering your cortisol. So moving your body, movement is medicine. And this is key. And I'm going to give you some stats. This came from the Mayo Clinic and the medical news today, from where I get these stats. So if you're like myself, where you're got yourself to a position where you're overweight, maybe your endurance is low, you're struggling to exercise because we think we have to function at the same level, everybody that's physically fit. That's not true. An extra 15 minutes a day can significantly improve your heart and lung health just by mitigating the risk of that stationary lifestyle. So, a daily activity, just 15 minutes a day of movement, can help shorten and offset the increased risks of cardiovascular disease. Early death associated with prolonged sitting, and reduces the risk of depression by 26%. So it doesn't have to be massive to start. It could literally move your arms, like stand in one spot and move your arms. I have knee injuries, I've got neck injuries. So I'm cautious that I don't re injure injuries when I move. But learn, if you have injuries, learn how to move your body to protect those areas that are high risk of re injury. But walking, go on a bike ride with your kids, dancing while you're cooking dinner, put on some upbeat music and move and dance. You know, Stretch while you're watching TV. If you want, get one of those steppers or an elliptical or a walker while you're watching TV. Do it while you're normally would be sitting. Play tag in the yard with the kids, with the dog. Go throw the dog some toys and move around. Try to run away from them and hide on them. Marching in one place when you're on a Zoom meeting that doesn't have your engagement, but it's a teaching moment. Move the body, turn the camera off, move the body. Small moves equate big shifts. Make it fun. Because if you're in a state where you're not in good physical health, it's too easy to tap out. So if you make it fun, it makes it easier to come back to it again and again and again. So make it fun. So move your body at least 15 minutes a day to start. If you're already physically fit, you're already doing it, you get it. But those of us that are not, and those of us that need to incorporate, 15 minutes a day, my loves, is all it takes to get started. The second one I want to cover, and this one was huge for me. I get passionate about this one. Trade expectations for appreciation. Why do I get passionate about this one? Well, I worked in high stress environments throughout the bulk of my adult life, but I also grew up in a household that had two sick boys that were given to pass away. They were not going to live long term. The doctors were shocked they lasted as long as they did. I lost my mother when I was 23 years old. She was 57. I am now at an age where my father was a widow. He was younger than I am right now when he became a widow. So, trading expectations was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. Because expectations, and I don't take this lightly, expectations can kill you. You're thinking, Anne, you're being dramatic. No, I'm not. Expectations can kill your soul. It can kill your self-worth. It can kill your mental and emotional and physical health. And when I say expectations can kill you, I mean it because I've witnessed it. Every suicide can be linked back to expectations. Lack of worthiness, lack of self-love, lack of feeling of being loved, lack of not feeling like they contribute, feeling like life in this world is too heavy and they need to exit is all because of expectations. I can guarantee you almost every single suicide can be linked back to expectations in one way, shape, or form. So expectations, trading it for appreciation can dramatically change your life. Dramatically. Because when you're in those states, you're at a very low vibration, you're depressed, you're functioning at a very heavy environment. You can't have love, joy, and excitement for life at the same time you're experiencing that low level energy. Depression and excitement and joy for life doesn't exist together. They're polarities, they're opposites of each other. So you cannot hate and love someone at the same time because they're polarities, like truly love. You say you have a love-hate relationship, but when you're hating, you're not loving. And when you're loving, you're not hating. So the love-hate relationships is there's aspects you're hating and there's aspects you're loving. You can never do them both at the same time. So trading expectations for appreciation, for gratitude. This, and I can give you a specific example, this very thing impacted my life deeply when my mother passed away. I was 23 years old and my expectations for everyone around me, including myself, went through the roof. And as long as I had those expectations, I had nothing but disappointment and rejection and just nonstop chaos because nobody was doing enough, good enough, and they were not being there when I expected them to be there. So nobody could do anything right for 8 years. I suffered with expectations. And when I say I suffered deeply because I hated my life. I was hating everybody around me. I was hating everybody in it. I set everything up for failure because even my father, who was mourning my mother's loss, I left him no room for him to grieve because my expectations were so high of what I expected him to do after that point, that our relationship suffered for 8 years after she passed away. And it wasn't until I shifted those expectations for appreciation that our relationship was able to start to flourish. I have the best relationship with my dad and my family now that I've ever had in my entire life. both my brothers, my dad, everybody that's in my life now, I have a relationship with them I could have never imagined having back then, all because I shifted expectations for appreciation. This one is a powerful one, my friends. Do not take it lightly. This is huge. Right down to bosses, like even at work. Work was chaos because of my expectations. I created it all. So appreciate small things, start small, do it in increments. This instantly can create a movement of love, connection, and fulfillment, because you cannot have love, connection, and fulfillment, joy, and drive and passion for life when you have expectations. You can have high standards, but watch the expectations. Thirdly, I want to cover, which kind of leaving the expectations at the door, trading them for appreciation. Be fully invested in your life. I use this example often, and people heard me say it often. We get one life in this physical body and one life only. Time is one thing that is not on our side because we have this one moment here and now. And when it's gone, it's gone. We can't get it back. But as human beings, we tend to live in anxiety, frustration, and fear of what's happened in the past, of it repeating itself in the future. And when we do that, we are robbing ourselves of the present moment. Because when this present moment is gone, we cannot get it back. And what happens when we live like that and we do that, and a lot of us do it, we miss this thing called life. I challenge every single one of you to go ask one of your elders what is the biggest regret they have in their life. And I can promise you, it's all going to come back to expectations. You can rewire it back to expectations at some point. Either they didn't do enough, or they didn't do this, or they didn't do that, or they didn't experience this, or they didn't experience that. They wish they traveled more. They wish they took care of their body more. They wish they ate healthier. They wished. It's all about expectations of what they did not do. They did not accomplish. It's all about the expectations. Regret is all around what you didn't do with your time when you had it. And the challenge is, I'm in my 50s now. When you hit that mid 40s to your 50s, you start to realize you're on the downside. You're on the last segment of your life. So it really starts to count at this point. When you're in your early 20s, this is not even in the forefront of your brain. But a lot of people I went to school with are now looking at retirement. Did they save enough? Can they retire? What is retirement going to look like? What kind of lifestyle are they going to have? What kind of regrets are starting to creep in of what they didn't do to make that better? Maybe they did do a ton of things and it's better, but they're now contemplating, what is that going to look like? How is that lifestyle going to be? How's it going to change from their working days? And it's all around expectations. But if you're fully invested in you and in your life, those regrets get minimized. So you only have the one life one time, and then it's gone. You can't get it back, and we don't know when it's going to end. So if you're already 1 foot out the door and you're constantly giving up, then you're missing out. You will have regrets for giving up. So be fully invested in yourself, because when you're not, the negotiations are constantly happening with yourself and your friends because you're waiting for them to convince you what to do, or family, or you're constantly negotiating with yourself. It leaves the door wide open for crazy options, not my hair, but options that run through your brain. Stress sets in, and that leaves you undecisive in chaos, overwhelm, and it can lead to exhaustion. And the one thing that can fix it all is a decision and be fully invested. And here's how. It's no secret. Go all in on your emotional. mental, spiritual, and physical health. Because if you wait too long, your battery's going to run out and you'll have regrets. That's even if you're here long enough to have regrets, because we don't know when our time is up. So go all in. And don't try something and say, well, this isn't working, because that's one foot out the door. That's not all in. We do this all the time as adults. And I'm going to say this, and you've probably heard me say it before, but when we were all toddlers and we were learning to walk, did anyone ever stop and look at you and say, you're not getting it, give up, stop walking, stop trying to walk. You're not learning to walk, just stop. Nobody ever stopped us from learning to walk, but we had to learn to walk before we could run, but we never gave up on it. But as adults, unless our belief systems and our perceptions are non-negotiable, like going to work every day, we give up. So stop giving up on you, go full in on you and invest in you, your emotional, your mental, spiritual, physical health. Because if there's any regrets that I have at this point, it's that I didn't do it sooner. I have no regrets when I realized I had to step in and do this. I have none. Some people like to spend money on stuff. I spend money on education. I spend money on learning. I spend money on things that I enjoy, which is learning new things. That's going to help me grow and evolve as a human being. I would not be here today doing this very live if I did not do that. And I have not given up since. And when I hear people say, well, I'm scared, scared is normal. Scared can actually be good. Make it drive you, make it fuel you. I ask people all the time, what are you scared of? Well, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? If that's what you're focused on, it's not going to work, because that's what you're putting out there. What if it does work? What if it doesn't work for 2-3 years? Who cares? What if it doesn't work at all? If that's your belief system and that's what you're focusing on, that's what you're going to get. So go all in, focus on what you want out of it, and what you're going to get out of it will shift and change as well. We're not here to have instant success. You didn't go to your job knowing your job like that. There is a learning period, a learning curve for you to learn your job, learn your craft, learn the company and how to blend and mesh with the company. Everything is learning. Doesn't happen overnight. You did not have all the skills that you have now when you were born. You had to learn them. As a brain surgeon, you had to learn all the neural pathways and the functionality of the brain in order to become a neurosurgeon. I didn't learn that, and I'm never going to learn that. So that's not something that I'm going to be diving into. I'm never going to be a neurosurgeon. But you had to learn it. The skills and abilities that I have, that neurosurgeon will not have all of them. Might have some of them, just like I'm going to have some of their skills. Maybe their skill, obviously, attention to detail. Hopefully, they have attention to detail, working on your brain and your neurological pathways. But there's things we'll have in common, but I'm never going to have that skill and that knowledge to become a brain surgeon, because I don't want that. I want to grow and evolve as a human, just like they have to constantly grow and evolve to stay up with the latest technologies of what's happening. So decide, go all in and invest in you, because nobody else is. Nobody else is going to be there. Nobody else is going to support you until you start supporting you first. That was a tough reality for me to learn myself. I did not have this attitude. I was not born with this attitude. I had to learn it. I had to learn to go all in on me, because I was not giving myself all of me when my mother passed away. I gave up 8 years of my life with expectations and constantly falling and failing because of expectations. That's not going all in. So choose uncomfortable over convenience. Develop a WIT attitude, a WIT, what's in it, or whatever it takes, and what's in it. Because choosing you, if you don't, nothing will change. Nothing's going to change until you do. So decide no more negotiations, more so with yourself, no more negotiations with your friends and family. They don't know what's best for you. You do. And make sure that you're worth every bit of your resources because you are. Go at it like it's done. It's yours. Amen. Which leads me to my last point. I created the group coaching membership. It's live right now for the wait list. The wait list is only going to be up for a short period of time. And those are my OTMs, my original tribe members. So if you want to dive deeper into this work, this is the place to do it. This is where you're going to learn the hyper awareness. This is where you're going to be able to tap into you and rebuild your own interpersonal strengths, your intuition. You're going to be able to understand perspectives and how it's impacting your life. You'll be able to break down your belief systems, the ones that are working and how to build on them, and the ones that aren't working, how to break them down, rebuild them, and replace them with the right belief systems that are going to work for you. And this is where you get to ultimately transform and change your life from the inside out, because you can't change the outside in. We think that's what we have to do. Did that for years. It didn't work. A regret and expectation. So it's important to understand that everything starts with you. Nothing's going to change until you do. And you have to be all invested in you. I'm not saying go spend tens of thousands of dollars on personal development, but start somewhere. And that's why I wanted to create this group coaching, because that's where it started for me. And it evolved from there. In my group coaching, I was spending more money a month than what this is, especially for my OTMs. And all I got was a Zoom call in like maybe once or twice a month. That was it. That's all we had available back then when I started my group coaching, because COVID was coming into play. So Zoom was starting to become a big thing. So I just started my group coaching, and it was well worth what I got back then. And I've made it bigger than just virtual calls. You're in a community with like-minded people. You're going to have the support and that evolution of like-minded people. You're going to be able to ask questions in the moment. So if you're on social media now, you can trade up your social media scrolling time for community time where you can grow and evolve. You get to connect with like-minded people that are looking to change, learn, and grow just like themselves. You get deeply seen and heard, yes, but most of all, you get understood. It's a place, it's a safe, sacred place where you get to open it all up. It is an experience and a place where you get to have massive breakthroughs and just shake up your own soul. You get to remember who the hell you are. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Because if you're not whole, it's hard for you to be there for someone else in a whole, safe space and in a loving, caring, connected manner. You'll have a place where you can have radical love with zero judgment. This is not a place for us to judge each other. It's a place to encourage growth and move forward. It's going to have a ripple effect, not just on your life, but on people around you. So if you're looking for a safe space to be seen, heard, interact, learn, grow, evolve, have those live virtual connections, have additional resources coming into play, it all happens inside the community. So if you want more of that, I'm going to have the links in the comments shortly after this video is finished. So make sure you jump in the comments, join the wait list. The wait list is going away soon. So as soon as I either hit capacity and or the time frame, I'm looking at cutting it off on the 24th. So whichever happens first, it's going to be gone. And when it goes away, you're not going to be able to access the 10 keys to unlock your unstoppable you. You're not going to have access to 50% off discounts of your membership that are going to last a lifetime or as long as you maintain your membership. which if it's a lifetime, then so be it. That's my gift to you for jumping in and choosing you first, being part of the original tribe members, because this is all new. I've never held a group community before and coached in this manner. So I'm excited to be able to bring it to the masses now. So jump in, don't wait. It's going away soon. And when it's gone, it's gone. So I don't want to see you miss out. Share the link with your friends, your family, anybody that you know that's struggling and can use the additional help and support to be able to learn to navigate. So life isn't impacting them so hard for so long on a negative side. Shift it to where you can build your personal power and grow and evolve as your best self, because we've only got one life this time, and the time is now. Take care, everybody. Join the link down below in the comments. And remember, breathe deep and relax and go enjoy your day. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a wonderful